Hello everyone. Today we're going to be ranking the best political ideologies to be released to this date. Okay, we have quite a few here. Quite a small tier list, but we have a few. So let's get into it. Okay, we have the conservative and yeah, I mean, conservatives, I mean, you kind of love them, you kind of hate them. What can I say about conservatives? Yeah, I mean, they're kind of based, they are kind of based, but they're also kind of cringe. They have this whole LARP thing going on about being trad and wanting a trad wife, and a lot of them are like 40k fans, but you know, they're not too bad. I think they deserve a C tier. I'm not gonna like overanalyze each one. I'm just gonna do this on instinct. Okay. We have the traditionalist, and he is the Eastern counterpart to the Western conservative. I mean, logically they should be both on the C tier, but I feel like the traditionalist has screwed up a lot of stuff in the world, so I think he is on the D tier. Anti-fascist, yeah, that's very cringe, F tier. Democratic socialist, cringe, F tier. Federal banker, I mean, yeah, I don't know much about federal bankers. I think it's very much an American thing. They have like the FDA or something. No, that's the Food and Drug Administration. They have like their central bank, and I know a lot of Americans are pissed off at them for printing money or something like that. I don't know much about him. C tier. The Patriot. Yeah, he's the like basically the conservative, but more from the South, I guess. C tier. They are kind of based. Maybe he's B tier. National populist. Okay. Yeah. National populist. I mean, nationalists are kind of cringe. I think it's D tier. The alt-right troll. Yeah, we have gamer tier, so I'm gonna put him in the gamer tier. Yeah, that's very much a gamer tier thing. The Marxists are, you know, the thing about Marxists, they are kind of cringe when they manifest in their anti-fascist form, but they are based because they have a very strong understanding of theory, and they read it a lot. They actually are kind of smart, but they don't do very much. And when they do organize revolutions, they go kind of badly, and they get a lot of people killed. But A tier for basically being good at theory. Yeah. The liberal. What can I say about the liberal? The liberal goes in D tier. Yeah. I think liberals have probably screwed up a lot of things in the last 20, 30 years. Like, they have run the institutions in the West for a very long time, but yeah, they've sold out. They've sold out both politically and economically. I guess the institution and societies of the West. I'm not going to say much more about it. The Nazbol. Okay, so the Nazbols are in the 90s. I mean, 90s and early 2000s, when Russia transitioned into a democratic society, had like a surge of very strange and odd political parties. Some of them were very normal, like Liberal Democrats or like Democratic Party, but a lot of them were very LARPy, very strange, like the Nazbols, which are a combination of Nazism and Bolshevism. Why does that exist? I don't know. Does it work? Probably not. I mean, why does that even exist? It's basically a LARP ideology, really. They're just like role-playing because, like, based. Yeah, kind of cringe. Very cringe, actually. The flip-flopper, yeah. He's like the Reddit core, very Reddit mindset. Yeah. I mean, the image makes me think of a Redditor because, like, oh yeah, I'm very smart, but flip-flopping, yeah, centrist. D tier. Boomer, nothing much to say about boomers. D tier. Classical liberal, A tier. I think classical liberal goes in A tier. Yeah, like people like Jordan Peterson. I mean, he's an interesting guy. He has a lot of good things to say, but he also has a lot of problems. Yeah, I think the only reason people call themselves classical liberals is because of him, because of Jordan Peterson. Like, I haven't heard of classical liberals before he mentioned that he is one. So yeah, I mean, the classical liberal is basically a conservative today. That's what conservatives call themselves when they don't want to call themselves conservatives. So logically it should be C tier, but I mean A tier for just being like extra classy about it, you know. Yeah, I mean they're like, they have like a slightly different archetype to the MAGA conservative kind of difference, a little bit more refined, you know. The anti-socialist. Okay, this one's kind of annoying, you know, because I used to be part of like these Facebook groups where they were like basically LARPing all the time about like throwing communists out of helicopters, and I'm not a communist, okay? Like I'm wearing a hat, but like it's like, do you ever want to be throwing people out of a helicopter? Is that ever a good idea? Probably not. Maybe you can do it like once or twice, but when you have like this group of people and they're all LARPing and gassing each other up about throwing communists out of helicopters, and that's like their main joke all the time, and that's what you're reading all the time, it's very cringe, you know. There's nothing to it. I think this is from the Pinochet. I don't know how to pronounce his name. The dictator from Chile. I think that's from his era. It's a bit silly. The environmentalist. Yeah, this is like very big in Europe, very big in America as well. What do I have to say about environmentalists? It's very cringe. Like this whole global warming thing and the narrative around that. They've certainly called it off recently. Not called it off, but called it off. Haha, very funny. Yeah, like called it off recently. Because they realized there's like a lot of political polarization around global warming and people turning it into like a very political thing, which, I mean, it doesn't have to be. I do believe in global warming. I don't know all the studies about it, but I do believe the scientists. I'm not a very conspiratorially minded person, but the people who adopt the environment and make global warming their like central issue in their mind, they're a very specific type of person, and that type of person is also someone who is probably like anti-natalist. They're the sort of person who would say like, oh, you know, the human species is a virus on the earth and we should make everyone extinct, you know, just to preserve the planet, and for the animals, like yeah, so it's never just about the environment. It's also like a coagulation, I guess, of multiple beliefs that kind of fit into it, you know. So you're not just judging what it is, like, oh, we should all support the environment, like, yeah, but like what's underneath that, you know. So D tier next down to socialists and boomer liberal, but whatever. Okay, it's not like so cringe that it goes F tier, but you know. Anyway, I don't want to slow this down too much. The progressive. Yeah, we can say a lot about the progressive, and a lot has been said about the progressives. Honestly, you don't need to say much more about it. D tier, F tier, I mean, it could go either way, you know. I mean, yeah, let's just put it in D tier. I think put him next to the traditionalists. They you know, these two people kind of like go hand in hand. They're like polar opposites, but they do collaborate on a lot of issues. At least like in the progressives' mind, they do collaborate with the traditionalists, but traditionalists don't really think about progressives in a good way. You know, like yeah, you know what I mean. The hippie. So this is the boomer version of the progressive. In some sense, it is kind of based because LSD did have like a very transformative effect on the way people thought. There were a lot of benefits to psychology and, you know, like social sciences and humanities that came out from, you know, like 1960s, 70s, 80s, from that kind of like not necessarily hippie, but the expanded kind of consciousness that happened because of the LSD revolution and all that. But the hippie is like the LARPer of that era. You know, he's just like, it's all about peace, man. It's all about it's we're all one, man. You know. So it's kind of like similar to the environmentalists, where just like they're just parroting like the same like 5 or 6 NPC kind of lines that they've learned, and they just kind of make their whole personality around it. It's more of a detail. Sovereign citizen. Sovereign citizens are interesting. Like, what can I say about them? It is kind of funny how sovereign citizens, they see how their little trick, their little thing that they do doesn't actually work. You can find like hundreds of videos on YouTube where so-called sovereign citizens get arrested for like traffic violations, and they claim that it's a sovereign citizen, but like it doesn't do anything, the police don't care, and yet they continue doing it. It's very silly. It's yeah, it's very much an American thing. I want to say D to C tier. D to C tier. Could be F tier, to be honest. D tier. I don't want to put everything into D. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in D. Bitcoin Zoomer. Okay, Bitcoin is kind of based. I do believe in Bitcoin. At least I used to believe in Bitcoin. Maybe I still do believe in Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin Zoomers, they're just playing the cards that they have. Cards. You know, just trying to make the best of it, really. A tier. The Libertarian. Okay, so this is this one's quite based because, okay, I don't want to use the word based too much because I am using it ironically, but this is interesting because, you know, it's very Metal Gear coded, you know, where you kind of like set up your own private mercenary company offshore and to avoid the taxes and that sort of thing. And yeah, this is I think this is Miller from Metal Gear. This guy, so it is kind of cool. So it goes in A tier. Anyway, Chinese communist. What do I have to say about Chinese communists? Yeah, communism with Chinese characteristics. Is that a thing? Just kind of reinterpreting Marx, really. I mean, the Cultural Revolution and Great Leap Forward did end up with like 50 million people dead, so that's kind of not very good. I'm gonna put them in. I mean, C tier because they are honest. You know, like at least the Chinese communist is an honest person, unlike, let's say, I don't know, like D tier. D tier has like a kind of underlaying of dishonesty. So how this works, there's honesty, dishonesty, and like outright live action roleplay. Okay, that's where Nazmol goes to. There's like live action roleplay. D tier is, okay, we have some legitimate issues, we have some reason to exist, but there's just so much bullshit that's mixed into it, and so much just conflicting, contradictory ideas, and just it's a mess. So that's why it's in D tier. C tier, maybe I don't agree with the political ideologies of C tier, but at least the people are honest, you know, like if you talk to a Chinese uncle, he's a communist and he believes in China, and it's like it's very simple with him. There's no mixed agendas. Okay. So the ANCOM, anarcho-communist, I guess. I mean, honestly, it's the same as anti-fascist, really. Very annoying, very cringe people. LGBTQIA PK plus plus plus. This is the boomer version of the liberal, the progressive, basically a little bit of hippie mixed in. You know what I mean. This is like, we've all seen these people. I mean, they have a good heart, but it's not really enough, really. You know, like you. LGBTQIA plus, yeah. Yeah, it's like a little hat with all these badges, you know, you support this, you support that. All these like little identities that they go on Reddit and they just like read what's the latest thing, you know, they listen to CNN and it's like, oh yeah, this happened, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna support this, and now I'm supporting this, and oh yeah, Obama said this, oh he's such a great guy, whatever. Okay, the anarchist. Honestly, I think the Wojak is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, because that does look kind of based, like the way he's presented there. But if not for the image, I think he would be F tier, to be honest. The cowboy, we have the patriot, which the patriot is just basically the modern version of the cowboy, so we just put on B tier. Okay, he doesn't have politics really. I mean, he does, but he just doesn't. The politics is like in his being. It's like the politics is in the body, not in the mind, where his existence, people infer politics from his existence, but he doesn't think about politics. See, this is what separates the D tier from the B tier, because the D tier, for example, the LGBTQIAP++ boomer, they're always thinking about politics. They're always thinking about what's the latest issue. So they're being swayed all the time by these political currents, and like they're very current today, you know. B tier cowboy, he's not thinking about any of that. He's just like living in the wilderness. He's just on his horse with his, I don't know, revolver or whatever, just like riding around and doing his own thing. You know, that's great. Yeah, the ephebophile. I don't know if I pronounced that right. That's not a political ideology, but we're gonna put that in gamer tier. Okay. The ANCAP, anarcho-capitalist. Yeah, okay, so I saw this earlier. I did think a little bit of thinking about this. So this is very similar to the libertarian. See, the libertarian is like, he works on Wall Street, and he's like very, like anti-government, anti-taxes and all that, because he is successful, he has a lot of money, he has a business, whatever, and he doesn't want his money being taken away by the government, so he develops these like basically just, all his anti-government stuff comes from anti-taxation. He just doesn't want people taking his money. Okay. The ANCAP is the step beyond that. So he's not just thinking about money; he's thinking about power. This is why he has the guns now. Okay. Now he's trying to defend his territory, and maybe not just defend his territory. He's leaving the country. He's setting up private mercenary companies offshore. Okay, like 100 kilometers offshore of like some like I don't know, in the Atlantic. Okay, he's sending helicopters back and forward doing missions. He has his own personal nuclear ICBM launcher. He has mechs maybe. He's recruiting a lot of soldiers. He's recruiting enemy soldiers. He's recruiting soldiers from the United States. He's recruiting soldiers from the Soviet Union. He's doing international missions. He's paying off CIA members maybe. But the key thing is, he doesn't have any political loyalties, because his loyalty is to himself and to his soldiers. So, okay, so that's very based. Okay, the Nazi, yeah. People have we've spoken a lot about the Nazis in the last I don't know, like 70 whatever years. We've known them to exist. I don't know if there's much more to say about the Nazis. They are very based. They have very cool uniforms. Yeah, very, very stylish. So I think we'll go S tier. Fascist. Okay, so just put him here just for the sake of it. So the fascist is like the Nazi, but he's like a little bit lower down, because just a little bit less effective, you know. I'm gonna put it A tier next to the Marxist. They do have like a lot of synergy, fascism and Marxism. The monarchist. Okay, so this is the precursor to the Nazi and the fascist. Yeah. What can I say about the monarchist? I mean, monarchism is kind of, you know, just S tier. Yeah, just based on vibes, S tier. Cool helmet, cool mustache, S tier. Trotskyist. Okay, so Trotsky is interesting because he was assassinated by Stalin in Mexico with a pickaxe. And that's all we know about Trotskyism. So, C tier. The socialist. Basically, a little bit more extreme version of the progressive, you know. Rather than getting their opinions from TikTok, they get their opinions from, I don't know, maybe they subscribe to a very niche political newsletter or something. Maybe they have their own little commune they go to. They have their little book discussion club. So that adds like a few levels of extremism points to their political ideology. So they're like a little bit above the progressive, you know. I mean, yeah, that's all really. So we're gonna put them C tier. Yeah, why not? Feudalist. I mean, basically, the feudalist is the monarchist, but he's like the older version of the monarchist. If you've played Crusader Kings, you know what I'm talking about. It's very based. It's very it's a very, very cool game. I'm particularly fond of Elder Kings. You know, the Elder Kings mod, because it allows you to play as kings and lords and feudal chiefs of Elder Scrolls nations. So that's very cool. I think they have the sort of scenarios that you can that you can play out in that game is very cool. You can do cousin marriages. You can make necromancers. You can make necromancers. I mean, we had a lot of things going on in the feudal era that you don't even know about. You know, you have to play that game. Really, it's very cool. So yeah, but the question is like S tier or A tier? Yeah, feudalist. A tier. Yeah. Theocrat. I mean, this is very similar to the feudalist, but just basically the religious version of it. I would be tempted to put A tier, but you know the problem is today we have a lot of people who, again, this very insincere. I would call it insincere because I would call it live action roleplay ideology, because they have these people who become Catholic. They are fans of Warhammer 40k, and they're like, oh my god, I am so based. Please save Europa. You know, these sort of people. Do we need to bring back Catholicism? Do we need to bring back Christianity? I don't think so. I'm sorry, I don't think so. Maybe a lot of you people are very based, very that sort of thing, but I don't think we should be bringing it back. I think it's honestly put it in the D tier. Yeah, and the tanky. Well, okay. Yeah, tankies are cool. Put it tanky A tier. Okay, and that's basically all of it. Okay, thank you for coming to this lecture, coming to my TED talk, and yeah, hope this was helpful. You know, if you need a political ideology in the year 2026, this is your guide to it. Okay, we have a lot of ideologies to choose from. Just don't pick anything in the F tier. You know, maybe gamer tier if you want it. S tier, A tier, B tier, they're all great. C tier, we're getting into LARP territory. D tier, you know, these are the people who are making all these problems, you know, in the world. Yeah, D tier is the problem tier, and F tier is beyond the problem tier. F tier is actually like actively causing violence. D tier is the people who talk a lot. F tier is the violence tier, you know. A tier is we have the relics of the past, and we have promise of the future. You know, this is what I would call the A tier and B tier: relics of the past and promise of the future. You know, the past wasn't so great, and the future may not be so great, but these are the grounded realists, I would say. You know, gamer tier. We're not going to talk about gamer tier. You know, we're going to leave gamer tier out of it. This this transcends both S tier and F tier. You know, this is beyond S tier and this is below F tier. This is non-dual. Okay, it's non-dual. And yeah, classic designation, Nazis and monarchists, S tier. This is we've been saying this for a very long time. Okay, so thank you for coming to my video, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.